Hi, so I just have a few things to say to outline what the program is before we then pass it on to the panel. And I should say to everyone that there are some handouts at the front of the room that have details of courses and details about the program that you should pick up afterwards. Science and technology studies, as we've heard, is a field of study that examines science and technology in its various social, cultural, and political settings. And we don't accept the premise that there's something called science and technology over here and something called society and culture over here. We insist that to understand these things, they need to be understood together, to understand them. They can't be pulled apart. You can, students I'm talking to now in particular, you can get involved in this right now at Stevens. There are two programs that we have. You can pursue a single major, as we have students doing. You can pursue a double major, as we have students doing, and you can minor. The first degree is a Bachelor of Science in Science, Technology, and Society. This uses insights from the humanities and social sciences to really develop some practical tools to deal with emerging issues in science and technology. So what do I mean by insights from humanities and social sciences? This is something that we deal with in our classes a lot. What are the practical applications of these things? So I've got some examples for you. From history, we look at the origins of infrastructures, how our infrastructures came to be built, how they're built in the way that they were, what works well with them, what doesn't, and what trade-offs were made. Essential questions for historians. From literature, we gain a greater appreciation of the importance of narratives. And this, for me, was one of the most fascinating things about Sandy, is how do we tell the story? What stories emerge from this storm, this chaos everywhere, and how do we reduce that to a couple of stories we tell around the Thanksgiving table, or 140 characters in a tweet? This is something that's ongoing now, and it's something, in fact, that we're doing today. We're trying to come to grips with this from a narrative perspective. From sociology, we study different social groups. Again, trade-offs is essential. Who comes out well, who doesn't, how do those groups express their desires and their needs. From political science, we understand the nuances of policy making, which, if anybody's been paying attention, it's often an ugly process and one that needs explaining. We also promote opportunities to engage the policy-making process. And of course, from philosophy, we confront difficult moral and ethical questions that science and technology always raise. And here, I think, we're inspired by a 19th century scholar who said, and I quote, "The philosophers have only interpreted the world in different ways. What is crucial, however, is to change it." The second degree program is a Bachelor of Arts in Science Communication. This is designed to address an urgent problem. How can we communicate and understand complex information? And Professor Blumberg, in particular, has a lot to say about this. I'm looking forward to what he has to say. There's a clear need. Everywhere we talk to people about this, they say there's a desperate need for people who can work at the interfaces of scientists and engineers, those who understand complex information, and the broader publics that need access to this information. So whether they work in government, whether they work in business, whether they work in the nonprofit sector, it's this act of translation that's desperately needed in local communities as well as in places like Washington, D.C. So this program is built to produce exactly those people. It builds on the work of John Horgan. I saw John earlier, who has brought his course here today, who is often on this side of the podium for these events, the director of the Center for Science Writing. And so to sort of build on things that Dean Dalling was saying, these are things we've already been doing. This is just a step to formalize it into a program. Okay, so how can you, students, get involved? First, we developed some new courses that have been running this semester. These are on here, but in the spirit of Dean Dalling's comments, we've already been doing this. And so if you've been taking any of these courses listed here, any of the courses that are on the brochure, you're already building credit towards a minor or a major in STS and science communication. Those are the courses for the fall. In the spring, you're going to notice a trend. We've got more courses being offered in STS. Professor Vincel's teaching and is going to say a little bit more about the Introduction to Science and Technology Studies courses. And again, you'll notice a trend. More and more courses within Cal are being offered and will count towards this degree. Finally, I want to say, so that's the students, right? And if you've got questions, please ask me. Please see the literature and the website, and we can talk more about it. I really want to just finish up and get to the panel. I want to finish by saying we've very consciously aligned this program with the strategic plan, the new strategic plan of Stevens, and I've shamelessly ripped off the title at the top here. There's 4 points that I think that are worth mentioning. First, we're going to continue our focus on students. None of this happens, students, without you. And so that's really our first and main mission. But there's other things that we can do as well, and other things that have made the program resonate so much already, as the Dean was saying. To nurture a community, to do this, exactly this, around these issues at Stevens. We want to pursue interdisciplinary collaboration, both in research and in teaching, both at Stevens and at institutions, and with individuals beyond Stevens.